Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is Get X Back, Eliminating Your Competition. Well, obviously we're going to talk about today as if you're one of the many people who has found me because you're trying to get an ex back. You may have a situation where, or you're dating a girl that you really like, and there is other dudes in the picture with her, and you're thinking, what can I do to set myself apart and cause her to choose me over the other guys? Now, if you're trying to re-attract an ex, the thing you got going for you is the fact that you have time together and you had a bond. Now, if you're dating, because most of the guys just simply don't know this stuff, hence the title of my book, How to Be a 3% Man. So for those of you that haven't read my book yet, go to my website. Underneath the email sign-up box, there's an image. You can click on that. I'll take you right to Amazon.com. You can either download the Kindle version to any electronic device in under 60 seconds, or you can order a paperback version. So do it now. Get the fundamentals and learn the basics of what I teach. So I have a quote that I wrote in this particular topic, and we're going to go through this guy's email and analyze what's going on in this situation, because in other words, she reached out, he went over there, and they ended up hooking up and having sex, but he starts kind of thumbing through her phone and notices that she's flirting with a couple other guys. And so this is something that's really important, because the worst thing that you can do is come unglued and have a freak out, whether you're a man or a woman, because you're literally going to chase the other person away and into somebody else's arms. And it's just like the quote I share all the time. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Not only to attract somebody, but to re-attract somebody. You must maintain their ability to feel free to come and go. Because especially when it comes to women who have multiple guys in their life, they're going to test and they're going to back away from all the guys that they're dating because they're going, I'm confused, I'm not sure. And whoever is the most mysterious, who's the hardest to get a hold of, the one that they wonder about the most, the guy who seems to be the most okay when she's not talking to him, that's the guy that she's going to gravitate towards. Because what most guys do when a woman starts to back off is the guys that don't know any better, they're going to chase, they're going to pursue more, thinking they got to do something. And then she's going to be like, I don't know, I'm not sure what I feel, or So I got this quote that I wrote, and it says, most men do not understand women. As a matter of fact, 97% of men may know some things about women, but they don't know the things that the most successful 3% know about women. By learning the pickup, dating, and relationship skills in my book, How to Be a 3% Man, Winning the Heart of the Woman of Your Dreams, you will be able to successfully attract and eliminate all of your competition from other men who are richer, better looking, and more successful than you are. This will give you choice with women so you can attract the most beautiful, desirable, and highest quality women. You will also be able to make them fall in love with you and keep them in love with you so you can have an easy and effortless relationship. When you know more than most men know about women, this will give you an incredible feeling of peace, serenity, certainty, and happiness that only 3% of the world's men get to experience in their personal lives. 95% of your happiness or your misery is going to come from who you choose to spend your time with. You deserve the very best in life. By becoming a 3% man, you will be able to manifest and experience the best that life has to offer. That's something to think about. So let's go through his email. He says, hey Corey, I've emailed you a few times regarding situations involving my ex. After a month of no contact, she wished me a happy Thanksgiving and told me she was grateful that I had been in her life and all that I had showed her. See, this is another thing. A lot of exes do this. When they start missing the other person, especially during the holidays give them a reason or excuse to just go, oh yeah, I'm just wishing you a happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas or Happy Groundhog Day or Happy Boxing Day or whatever the fuck happens to be. The real reason, the real thing that you got to look at is if you're doing no contact, where you've walked away and you're never looking back, if you're trying to re-attract an ex, that's definitely something you should have done. And because they don't want to make themselves look bad, and they reach back out to you, they could say, oh, well, I was just reaching out because it was the holidays. I just wanted to wish you a happy holiday and everything. But the bottom line is they reached out. If they reach out, you assume it's because they want to see you, and you make a date. He says, I replied the next day, and we texted a small amount before I said we should get together. She seemed to have an open schedule, so I tried to make plans for next weekend. She said she might be out of town. So what does that tell me? She's got lots of choices, lots of options. She's starting to think about you. Probably the other guys aren't really what she thought they were. But she's not really sure yet. She's not really sure that she's ready to go back out with you because you are the ex after all. That's why it's so important to be able to, hey, take it or leave it. Either way, you're cool. You're awesome with either possibility. You're awesome with getting back together or going out on a date together, I should say. Or you're awesome with her going out of town or doing something else other than hanging out with you. He says at one point she said she didn't foresee us making time to get together. I called her out and said she meant that she didn't foresee herself making time to get together. I left her with, let me know if you change your mind type of response. Good response, dude. She texted me later that night and we started to flirt a little. She revealed that she missed me. Duh. And at 12:30 a.m. she basically invited me over to have sex. Ding ding! We have a winner. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. I figured, what the hell? But once I got there, we started talking, and almost immediately all our feelings for each other erupted to the surface. We did have sex. Remember, hang out, have some fun. Sometimes you're going to have, like I said, it's really important that they do 80-90% of the talking. And it's best that you let her talk and you ask the questions because things are obviously going to come up. And then you can have great makeup sex, which obviously he got to. He says, we did have sex, and I made sure it was my fault this time, but that was 2 or 3 hours after I got there, and we've been talking, flirting, and kissing. It's a slow escalation. Because what he had done in the past when he got together with her is he didn't push it all the way. It wasn't. In other words, he was basically waiting for her to fuck him. But it's your job as a man to lead it to that successful conclusion. Most of our conversation was reminiscing, which was really nice, and was the emotive force behind our evening. Remember, it's in the talking, the bonding, getting her to express her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions, and you not having any kind of judgment that allows her to feel open to you, open to receive you, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. She had revealed that she was talking to another guy or two. One was a wealthy man who was trying to buy her love, and he was the reason she might be out of town. He offered to take her to New York City for the weekend, and the other guy is someone she works with and has gone on a couple of dates with, but she says she was starting to get a little crazy. Or he was starting to get a little crazy and desperate. See, this is what typically happens. The guys don't know any better. He's thinking, oh, the ex, she might want to get back to the ex. There's this rich guy. I have to do something. I have to be around her more. I have to chase her more. I got to take her out on more extravagant, more fun dates. I have to call her more. I have to listen to her on the phone more, be her emotional tampon more. And then she'll go, wow, this guy's really so much more awesome. And he's so much more into me than everybody else, so therefore I'm going to choose him. Never going to happen. I didn't freak out, and I thought to myself, sounds like these guys are just going to take themselves out of the equation for me. Now you're thinking properly, dude. Plus, she's your ex. She called you. Think about it. It's her choice to be with you, and the other guy's making her go, ah. And the other guy, the rich guy, is trying to buy her love, and you're the one hanging back, and guess what? She's contacting you. Makes it really fucking easy that way. He says, I told her that they could keep her busy when she wasn't with me, and she laughed. I'm not proud of this part that I'm about to share, but when I first got there, she took a shower, and I looked at her phone. Come on, man. What do you think would happen if she walked out and busted you? But you got away with it, so you got a little free intel. Old James Bond style. I know it was wrong, but I just didn't want to be a booty call if she was doing the same thing to other guys. I'm not about that. Yeah, whatever. You're over there hoping to get fucking laid. Come on, man. I gotta be different. I gotta be more special than these other guys. She also doesn't know that I looked at her phone and I saw a few texts from one of the guys that had a dick pic that he had sent. He says, I'm rather above average, so even if she told him he had a good one, I wouldn't have cared. My cock is bigger. Come on, man. Now you're comparing your dick to some other dude's dick. It's like, think about it. The part that bugs me is that I playfully brought up that she probably had other guys chasing her all over and sending her dick pics. Come on, dude. She's not stupid. Women aren't dumb. She's going to figure out that you probably were looking at her phone. But she adamantly denied ever getting a picture. So what does that tell you? She's a little bit of a liar. She got defensive, and I was just being playful even though I already knew the truth. She actually repeated it a few times out of the blue. Why would she lie about that? Well, a wise friend once told me, the longer the excuse, the bigger the lie. The more insistent somebody is that I won't fuck you, I wouldn't lie to you, they're probably lying. When I left her, I told her that I'd call her and planned on Tuesday or Wednesday to set a date. See, that's where you're fucking up, dude. She reached out to you on multiple occasions and you set a date and you had great makeup sex. Now you're going right back to pursuing mode because you're thinking, hey, we had sex, now I can go right back to pursuing her. You're trying to force things at this point, and it's not going to end well when you do this. You got to let her, when you walk away, it's just like the video newsletter that I did, 7 Principles to Getting an Ex Back. You got to let her pursue you. If you Google Corey Wayne, the 7 Principles to Getting an Ex Back, I go step by step, and I cover this particular type of situation. The only time it's appropriate for a guy to continue to reach out is when he's the one that dumped her and he later regrets it. In this particular case, you got dumped. Therefore, she reached out to you already on multiple occasions and you hooked up. So why would you try to force it? Especially with these other guys that are doing the same exact thing. You're just delaying the inevitable, which is obviously she's going to want you back. But if you keep on this course, you're going to chase her into the arms of either the rich guy or the guy from work or maybe some other dude that she hasn't even met yet. Bad way to go. He says, however, she texted me this morning saying that she didn't think it would be a good idea for us to get together, and I called her to see why she said that after the night we had. Now you're trying to force yourself upon her. She says, nah, I don't think it's a good idea, and you're like, hey, what do you mean it's not a good idea? Hey, Now you're acting needy and desperate, dude. It's like you played it so cool. You got a little taste of the panani, and now you're like, you can't fucking handle it. We ended up setting the date, and I told her I'd pick her up the next Saturday at 6:30. Lucky dude. Aside from my question about why she lied about the dick pic, what are some good tips for conversation when going on a date with an ex to avoid only talking about the past? Hang out, have fun, hook up. The conversation topics, whatever. How are them Yankees? It doesn't fucking matter. You can talk about anything. Just keep hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. Don't talk about the past. Only talk about what you're doing right now. Talk about fun, positive, uplifting things. And if you are going to talk about the past, talk about something positive, a great memory that's going to make her smile. Remember that time we had sex in the elevator and it broke down? Oh, that was pretty hot. He's like, yeah. Remember that trip we took to that little cute little bed and breakfast by the lake? Wasn't it? Oh, it was so great. Oh, it was like... And the sex was really awesome. Yeah, I know it was, baby. It was. Obviously, we will have the upcoming week to talk about since I don't plan on talking or seeing her until Saturday, but for some reason I'm really worried about not being able to just have a great time with her. That would lead to another date. That tells me you're not staying in the present moment. You're worried about these other guys and whether or not you're going to get back together with them. Big fucking mistake. Dude, you did so great. You had this great date. You talked her into inviting you over when she reached out. Or actually, she invited you over to have sex. And you went over, you hung out, you had fun, you hooked up. And now it's like you're throwing all that shit right out the window that went great and worked perfectly. And now you're going back to stalking and chasing and trying to force things. Think about it. You're going to literally ruin a great thing here. You walked away and never looked back. You did no contact, and then she reached out. And now you're just brushing all that aside, ignoring all the success that you just had, and you're trying to force things because you're worried about these other guys stealing her away. I promise you, being in that fearful state and doing what you're doing right now in the second half of your email, you're going to literally drive her away. Don't call or text her ever again. Let her come to you. It must be her idea. It was her idea to call you. It was her idea to call you back when she said no to a date. And it was her idea to invite you over for sex. which ended up happening. I seem to fear, what you fear you attract, only talking about the past with her, which is stupid, but it's still in my head. I honestly didn't even know I still had these feelings for her. After a month of not talking, I was on Plenty of Fish and had gone on a date with a girl and planned to again until last night. Go on that date, dude. She wants a relationship, and now I've reconnected with my ex, I just have no interest in the other girl, which scares me a little because I don't want to go back to my old ways and end up losing my ex. Dude, your ex has 2 other guys in her life. You should have this other girl in your life. Keep dating. It's going to help you. Because I can already tell after one date and a little bit of the panani, a little bit of the poussoir, you are just like, you just can't handle it, dude. Oh, come on, man. Keep dating other women, dude. Please keep dating other women. She's dating other guys, and she's totally honest about that. You should be doing the same because it's obvious from the last half of your email that you pretty much can't fucking handle it. So you need to chillax. Have some other women in your life and let the ex reach out to you. Because what happens if things go well with the other guy and you don't hear from her for a few days? Are you going to be able to handle that, or are you going to start blowing up her phone again? If you got this other girl that you're going out and you're hanging out and having fun and hooking up with, it'll be a lot easier for you to resist that temptation. This tells me, Padawan, that you're not strong enough to resist the urge to reach out and pursue the ex. Keep these other women in your life. Keep practicing your skills. Remember, repetition's the mother of skill. It's the only way you're going to get better. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session with yours truly. And you can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.